Welcome back, McFly subscribers. We're continuing the Winter Fly series with the patch rubber legs. And as you might have noticed, I will be showing you the original and a beaded version. And I will also show you two different ways of putting in the legs. Now I will discuss this fly and winter fishing conditions later in this video, as I'm sure you all want to get started tying right away. But in case you haven't seen this channel before, this is McFly Angler.
Starts now.
Okay, let's start tying. Place the hook securely in your vise. For a hook, I'm using Resin Streamer 200 in size 8. These are a 4x long hook, and we do need some length like this. Now this has a down eye, but it's not needed. Now you don't have to use a streamer hook like these. I really like using the 200Rs also, which are a continuous bend hook. Now these also have a longer shank, but these are 3x long. However, I really like having the streamer strength, as these are 2x heavy hooks. It will allow us to pull quite hard on these big winter trout that we hook into. Now we also need to add some weight, and for that I'm using 0.02 size lead-free wire. I like putting it on a bobbin holder for easy application. Let's start the wire on our hook, and I'm making 20 wraps today. I really like to fish very heavy flies in the winter, as trout don't move very much, and getting down to where they are is very important. But you can add as much or little of this weight as you want. However much you add though, make sure it's positioned slightly forward on the hook shank. We will also need some thread, and today I'm using Viva 6/0 in brown. This is a round thread that is very strong. Start your thread up past the lead wraps and create a thread dam in front of the lead. Then use the tag end to help jump over the lead and form another thread dam behind the lead wraps. Bring your thread back up to right behind the hook eye and snip or snap the tag end free. Now we need some rubber legs. Traditionally, these use something called spanflex. Now this is the same thing, but Fly Tyers Dungeon calls them bug legs, and they're much less expensive than the traditional spanflex. This is a stretchy, rubbery type leg that works great for this pattern, and it comes in many different colors, but I usually stick to either brown or black. You could also use round rubber legs like these centipede legs. However, you need to use quite a few of them, and they're kind of expensive, so I usually stick with the spanflex. Now cut 2 strands off the hank, and this will tie just one of these flies. Put one strand aside, and then fold the other in half and form a loop like so. Tie this in on top of the fly, so that the loop is sticking out past the hook eye, and then tie these down to the start of the hook bend, ensuring to keep it on top of the hook. Then cut the rear legs to your desired length, and I like them to be about a half a hook shank length. If you tie these in with a tight wrap, it will splay them outwards a bit. Now we need some variegated chenille. Variegated chenille has alternating colors. This one is brown and black, but they also come in other colors, more than I have here. Pull 2 to 3 turns off the card and cut it free, and this should tie 2 to 3 of these flies. Pull some of the fiber off the tip of the chenille to expose the rope core, and then tie this in at the back of the fly like so. Now bring your thread up the hook shank to about the 1/3 mark, and then let's grab the other spanflex strand and fold it into 3s. Clip the loops, and now you have 3 even strands. Wrap the strands around the thread in the center of them, and then use the thread to drop them down on top of the hook shank. Turn them so they're perpendicular to the hook shank, and then make one wrap going the other way over them to form an X wrap on top. Pull them up to make sure they're directly on top of the hook, and then make another X wrap over them. Then push them forward and make 2 loose wraps over them to keep them out of the way. Now let's start wrapping the chenille up the hook shank with touching wraps. And every 2 wraps, I like to tighten the chenille. Keep wrapping up the hook until you reach about the halfway point on the hook shank, and then release the legs. And I probably should have wrapped up to the hook eye here, but I forgot. Anyway, grab one of the legs and pull it back and wrap the chenille over it, and do the same thing on the other side. You can adjust the legs to be positioned on the side of the hook at this point, and make one more wrap over the hook. Then pull a leg forward on one side and wrap over it, and do the same thing on the other. Make another wrap over the legs, and then pull them rearward and wrap in front of them. If you do this right, you will get perfectly separated legs. And here you can see the difficulty caused by not bringing my thread up to the hook eye. Okay, when you reach the hook eye, then wrap over the chenille, then in front, and over it again before clipping off the waist. But save this piece as you can tie another fly with it. Now pull everything rearward and wrap under the front antenna, However, don't make as many wraps as I did, because this lifted those antennae up way too much. Just one or two will do. Now you can whip finish the fly under those antennae. Now to cement the whip finish. And for that I really like this Solarez Ultra Thin Resin. It has a handy paintbrush in the cap for easy application, and just paint a little on the whip finish and cure it with your UV light, and the fly will be super durable. Now, because these front antennae are sticking up, I'm going to try painting a little of the resin over them and hold them out straight before curing it. This kind of helped to keep them angled out forward rather than up. But okay, now let's cut the antenna to length. And I like the rear and front to be kind of short. Then pull the legs down, all bunched together, and make a cut about double the hook gap width. Now this might have been a little bit too long, but it'll still work. And there we have it, the finished patch rubber leg. A super easy and very effective pattern that mimics stoneflies very well. Now some people have trouble with tying in those legs and getting the chenille to wrap through them the way that I showed. So let me show you another way to attach those legs. And let's use the same hook. And everything up until the legs will be the same, so I will speed through most of this. We will add the weight, tie in the front antenna, and the rear spikes, which are called cerci. I hope I pronounced that right. Tie in the chenille, and now for the different way of tying those legs in. I saw this technique from Tightline's YouTube channel, and I thought it was a unique and easy way to do this. We will want to whip finish and remove the thread to get it out of the way. Grasp the end of those legs in your fingers, and then wrap over the hook shank. Grasp it again, then wrap over the shank once more with a little space, and grasp. Then wrap over one more time with similar spacing, and grasp. Now take some UV resin, and the Solarez Thin formula works great. By the way, you want to have this uncapped before you start wrapping. But okay, let's run a bead of this over the top of the legs like so, and then cure it with your UV light. And this will hold these legs into place. Then cut the loops, and now you have 3 legs on either side. Now start your thread again up by the hook eye, and start wrapping the chenille up the hook shank with touching wraps. Now, when you reach the legs, they are already spaced out, so you just have to weave in between them. No need to position the legs while wrapping the chenille, and this does make the process a little bit easier. However, I believe this does take a little bit more time, since you gotta whip finish the thread and then reattach, but it does come out with perfectly spaced legs, and it is a little easier. Alright, when you reach your thread with the chenille, then capture it, trim off the waist, clean up the front with a few wraps, then pull the antenna back and make 1 to 2 wraps under them. Then whip finish under the antenna. Cement the head. Trim the legs to your desired length. And the fly is now finished. What do you all think of this technique of tying the legs in? Do you think this is helpful? Let me know in the comments section what your thoughts are, whether it's positive or negative on this technique. Okay, so what if you want to add a bead head? Well, it's not as simple as just adding a bead. There are a few steps involved, and I'll show you how to do this now. For a bead, I'm going to use Resin's tungsten beads in size 4.6mm. And because the bead takes up a little room on the hook shank, let's use a slightly longer hook. This is Resin Streamer 300, which is a 6x long hook, rather than the 4x long that we just used. Both are a size 8, but you can see here that this hook is slightly longer, which gives us room to add the bead. And the easiest way to get the bead on your hook is to place the bead in your hand and bring the hook point to it. Okay, place the hook and bead securely in your vise, but push the bead back into the bend of the hook. Now we'll start our thread up by the hook point and snip or snap off the waist. For the legs and antenna, I'm going to be using these centipede legs. Cut 2 off the hank, and make sure that the tips are aligned. Tie these in so they are sticking out in front as long as you want those antennae to be. Because these are more expensive and shorter legs, we will want to be careful how we use them. Making precise tie-ins will be important so we don't use too many legs. Once tied in, then clip them off, but keep those tag ends because we will be using them for the back cerci. Clean up the cut ends with some tight wraps, and then whip finish and cut off the thread. Now we can push the bead up over the legs like so, creating the antenna sticking out the front of the bead. Now, like I said, I really want to fish heavy flies in the winter, so I'm going to make 20 wraps of lead, which in addition to the tungsten bead will make this extremely heavy. Break it off, push the wraps together, and shove them up into the bead cavity. This will stabilize that bead and keep it from moving down. Now start your thread behind the lead wraps and snip or snap off the waist. Then wrap up through the lead and wrap under the bead a bit, then come back down to the start of the hook bend. Now tie in the rubber legs towards the back to form the cerci. Don't tie them too long, just as long as you want them. When they're tied in tight and won't move, then clip off the waist, but keep this as you will be able to tie another fly with these. Clean up the cut ends, and then let's add the chenille. This time I'm using the yellow and brown. Now we need 3 more legs, but we don't need these to be full length. So let's cut them in half, and now we have enough for another fly. So basically 5 of these legs will tie 2 flies. Alright, let's tie these in the same way as we did the first version that we tied today, since these are not long enough to wrap around the hook 3 times like we did with the UV resin technique. Make the X-wraps and position them perpendicular on the hook. Now this time I was smart enough to wrap up to just behind the bead, and then of course wrap over them to hold them into place. And now we will continue tying this the same way as we did the first version, tightening with every other wrap, and then when we reach halfway up the hook shank, pull a set of legs rearward and wrap over them. Make another wrap between the legs, then pull the front legs forward and wrap over them twice, then pull the front legs rearward and wrap in front of them, then wrap up to the bead and capture the chenille. Cut off the waist chenille, and now you can whip finish right behind the bead. Now the bead protects the whip finish quite well, so there is really no need to cement the whip finish. And you can if you want, but I generally don't behind beads. Okay, we can kind of adjust the legs now by moving the chenille around slightly and pulling the legs to the correct position directly on the side of the fly. And here I find cutting the legs individually is helpful, as the rubber legs aren't long enough to get a good purchase on them to cut them all at once. But cut them all to whatever length you desire, and the fly is now finished. So here is a bead head patch rubber legs. A super heavy, extremely easy, and perfect representation of a stonefly nymph. So as I have expressed in the past 2 videos in this winter fly series, what I look for in winter flies is something very heavy, since the winter trout do not tend to rise to food. They sit in deep holes, and you gotta get down to where they are, and almost drop the fly on their nose. I am also looking for flies that are very easy to tie, since when you're fishing very deep like that, there's a tendency to snag up on the bottom more often. And no one wants to lose a bunch of flies that are expensive or difficult to tie. And no matter what technique I use to tie these, I can whip up a bunch of patch rubber legs in no time. Usually I can get 15 or more done in an hour, allowing me to fill fly boxes very quickly. One other thing to mention about winter fly fishing is that food sources are limited. There are not many hatches going on, only usually midges and occasional BWOs, which means very, very small flies. However, stonefly nymphs do get dislodged from cracks on the occasion, and when they do, the trout do move for them as it's a rare nutrient-packed food for them that they don't normally get in the wintertime. So I will usually fish this stonefly as my lead fly and drop a smaller midge on the back. This big fly will get their attention, but if they're too slow to reach it, the midge behind it will be right on their nose and they won't hesitate to eat it. So for me, patch rubber legs are the perfect winter nymph fly, and I almost never go nymph fishing in the winter time without at least a few of them in my box. Alright, well now I'm 3 flies into this month's winter fly series, with what I think are the absolute best nymphs to fish in the winter. For a recap, I started this series off with the flashback pheasant-tail nymph, one of the most versatile nymphs ever created. It can mimic a mayfly, BWO, or even a midge, and that flashy back really gets the fish's attention. Next, I tied up the Ray Charles scud, which is one of my favorite scud flies, and scuds are one of the few food sources available for trout year-round, especially on tailwaters. And of course this week I tied up the patch rubber legs, one of the simplest stonefly nymphs out there. Check back next week as I plan on finishing this winterfly series with the jigged woolly bugger. Yes, streamers can be a great option in the winter, so make sure you're subscribed and click that bell notification, that way you don't miss any future videos like this jigged woolly bugger. By the way, I sell these fly boxes on Amazon with free shipping. They're thin enough to fit in most shirt pockets, or fit multiple even in a small chest pack, so you can organize your boxes by fly type, like this winter nymph box. These are silicone backed with pre-made slots to put your flies in. Also, the silicone back is self-healing, which means you can poke it with your hooks and it won't get all beat up looking, making these boxes very durable. And I've fished with the same box for 6 years and it's still going strong. These are also waterproof with this rubber gasket here. Your flies will not get wet until you fish with them, so that means no more rusty hooks. I will link below to my Amazon storefront if you're interested in picking up these boxes. Also, don't forget to check out my sponsor, Resin Fly. They made the hooks I use today, but they also make some of the best fly rods and reels for the money I have ever used. Best off, they're offering you all a discount. So if you're in the market for a new rod or a bunch of hooks or beads, go to www.risenfly.com and type in McFly at checkout and they'll give you 15% off of your first order with them. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, do me a favor and click the like button. Also, if you could share my videos with all your fishing friends, I would really appreciate it. I will see you on the next video. Now you go catch some fish.